When our joy is attached to a future earthly outcome, it's like playing the lottery with our time. In today's episode, we are going to tackle the big subject of retirement, and if we're spending too much time worrying about retirement. Are we living fully today, or are we living for tomorrow? This episode will point out some of the hazards that are right in front of us, and will leave you with some practical tips on what we can do right now with our time and our money. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Work Life Eubiosis podcast with your host, Charleston Edwards. If this is your first time here, welcome. My goal is simple: to eradicate burnout and to bring harmony, purpose, and balance to this world, starting with the family. My hope is that this show and the story shared will provide encouragement and ideas that will be valuable to you on your journey to work-life freedom. So let's dive into today's episode. I'm a creature of habit, so my running routes tend to be the same. I know what neighborhoods to avoid. I know what sidewalks are uneven. I know which houses have dogs that don't like me running by. I run pretty much at the same time every single day. These patterns give me a sense of safety. On a trip last year, I went out on a run in a new community, and I caught myself looking ahead, making sure I was heading in a safe direction. Before I knew it, I was spitting up dirt and picking gravel out of my bloody hands. I had failed to monitor the steps and the hazards right in front of me. A completely different story, but completely related. I read a book recently, and the author lamented over the fact that he and his wife worked hard to get to a comfortable retirement so they could eventually enjoy their bucket list together. Sadly, she died right after they retired. We are constantly reminded by our society of the importance of retiring well. Retiring wealthy is seen as a sign of a successful life. I get the lure to this message because our bodies decay every day, and we may not always have the same abilities to work. We may not even have the same desire to work. We must be good stewards of our time, of our bodies, of our money, of our resources, and there's so much wisdom in investing for our latter days of life. But what if there was another way to work and to live that took the focus off retirement? Arthur Brooks, the author of From Strength to Strength, addresses the decline in our ability to work at peak levels for our entire life. He explains that our excellence eventually declines in our midlife. Brooks provides his own wisdom of how to move from our first career that is attributed to our intellect and our energy into a second career in our latter part of life that is attributed to our wisdom and service. Giving back is the end goal. Where we go wrong is saving life experiences for retirement. We let retirement direct us in a different way than where we are naturally designed to go. And sadly, we get fooled thinking we can make it to age 65 and or still be healthy when we get there. This is a risky way to live. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, the leaning tree is not always the first to fall. The quicker we realize why we are here on earth, the quicker we can redesign our lives for that purpose. When this happens, we can stop gazing at retirement as a relief valve from a burdensome life, and then fall in love all over again with our vocations. When we do what we love, then we will never work a day in our lives. I love this quote because it has kernels of truth. But this is only true if our heart's motivation is pure. Love is all about giving, and it's an action. This means a full and purpose-filled life is all about utilizing our gifts for service to others. Living life to the fullest isn't all about self-gratification and knocking off the bucket list early. It's not about using all the PTO and going on exotic vacations. These are all good amenities to life, and I encourage everyone to invest in your version of joy frequently. We need rest, refueling, refreshment, and rejuvenation. Exposing ourselves to the beauty and diversity of this world has many benefits. But living to the fullest is about being present to how we can best show up in service to others in line with our authentic purpose. We live in a culture that is loud and busy, and without good boundaries or margins, we can easily get caught in the tsunami of overwhelm. Life is fully lived when we have margin. A lot of us toil for 40 plus years in the wrong jobs for the sake of a good retirement. Retirement is nice, and I would like to retire well myself when or if that time ever comes. But the goal of retiring well with wealth may knock us off our paths of purpose if it becomes our sole focus. When our joy is attached to a future earthly outcome, it's like playing the lottery with our time. We are often caught racing towards a destination or looking for a safe, comfy destiny, and we lose sight of our daily hazards and our daily blessings. One of the many famous quotes by Jesus is, "Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today." This quote came at the end of a lesson to his disciples not to worry about things like food, clothes, and money, and to put the focus on centering ourselves in a righteous life for God. Because the underbelly of this podcast is about finances, I'd like to provide some practical applications and point you toward a friend of mine. His name is Hal, the founder of Your Profit Pro. His values-based approach to budgeting has something for all of us, whether we are in debt, living from check to check, or saving up for retirement. Hal's financial stewardship tips are directly from his website, where he is investing his days into teaching our next generation about financial literacy. So here is Hal's top 5 practical tips for savers. Number 1, embrace your true expenses, even the non-frequent expenses for when things break or need fixing. Number 2, keep an emergency fund. This emergency fund should be above and beyond the various budget categories of your true expenses. Number 3, every dollar needs an assignment, even the dollars sitting in the bank. Number 4, review your budget categories frequently. Every time you receive new money, review your budget categories. And number 5, align your values, which is your non-financial life, with your financial life. If you want more information, visit yourprofitpro.com. In summary, don't get trapped by temporary concerns for tomorrow when there are so many reasons to smile and experience a thrill today. Saving and spending money is great, but the same philosophies apply to how we treat time. With that, I'll leave you with one more tip. Audit your busyness. Not your business, but your busyness. Let us all find ways to simplify and systemize our daily work, our meeting schedules, and build margin into our day. And when we do this, we can be ready with open hands to enjoy the fruits of our labor and to be a blessing to those who need our fruit. How we spend our days is how we spend our lives. One question for all of us to reflect on this week or whenever you're listening to this podcast is, am I living the life that I'm designed to live right now? And if the answer is no, then the next question to unpack is, why not? And what can I do about it right now? Thank you for listening to the Work-Life Eubiosis podcast, part of the Work-Life resources created by Own Your 5 to 9. I hope that you have found encouragement and a few ideas to strengthen your journey to purpose, freedom, and balance. Have you overcome burnout and found a new way of life? Millions around the globe are still at the risk of burnout and losing it all. And your story may be the one that sparks not only a dream, but action. Visit ownyour5to9.com for more information and submit your story. While you're there, join the Work-Life Eubiosis newsletter and receive additional resources weekly right to your inbox. If you enjoy this podcast, take time to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share it with a friend or loved one. Remember, the most important organization in the world is the family. Let's do our part to strengthen it. Thank you for listening.